Good afternoon, guys. Jesus, I must be in a good mood today because this is the third upload I've done today. 1 minute, let me turn my telly down. So yeah, I uploaded some content just now about mental health and a good friend of mine, and this video is going to be on a positive note about a funny story and a good old story of what happened to me while I was in Wandsworth. And this was going back in 1995. Basically, when you're in Wandsworth and you're from your local area, Tooting, Wandsworth, Streatham, Fulham, Mitcham, Clapham, Brixton, Vauxhall, Elephant and Castle, Balham, all the surrounding areas, everyone knows everyone inside Wandsworth. So it was like going from home to home, to be honest with you. And especially them days, it was fun and games. It wasn't fun and games with the screws in there, because we all know the screws in Wandsworth back in the day was fucking hardcore. And there was a star in the middle, and basically if you walked on that star, you would literally get jumped on by, like, I'm not even lying, 5 plus screws would jump on you, wrap you up and throw you down the seg. And that was just for walking on their star. They very regimental in there. They still actually had a hanging gallery. If you look on the wing and look up, you can see the trapdoors still there. It was a very spooky type of eerie place, but nevertheless, we all met in there, and it was like every time, like every morning on the exercise got called, and all wings would meet on the exercise yard. So if you was an A wing and you wanted to meet your mate on B wing or C wing, you'd all meet on the yard. So there was plenty of violence, plenty of rivalry, and you could never hide from it. Let's put it that way. If you had a bit of beef in jail, you had to either sort your beef out or you was on the numbers, and that was it. And that was like what Wandsworth was all about. But yeah, I remember a good old few boys in Wandsworth. One called Dave Rawson. I don't know if any of my followers remember old Dave Rawson. Mickey Camille from Fulham, a tall black fella. Rest in peace, Mickey, mate. He's passed away a few years ago. I only just found this out about Mickey, but I think he had cancer or something like that. He was only young. He was only in his early 50s when he done it, when he got the cancer. So yeah, he passed away. Rest in peace, Mickey. But yeah, going back on the story. So we was all in Wandsworth on wing, and one of my good friends come in there, and he was from Croydon, and he was a fella called Colin Green. So yeah, there's quite. I bet quite a few of my followers know Colin. His nickname was Big Hands, and he's from Croydon. So a very, very well known person, a very respected person, and a very, very good friend of mine. And yeah, Colin come in there, and I know Colin from Surrey Street Market in Croydon and Sinatra's, Cinderella's, and all the old nightclubs back in the day. So yeah, when Colin come in there, it was brilliant, because he's so full of fun and joy and games, and like he used to just literally take a piss out of the screws. So he'd have a joke with them, but behind their back, basically, he'd like do monkey features and like go behind them and take a piss out of them, and he'd pull their jacket and run off. And he was so funny, and he was always doing tricks on different people. But he was a right nice fella. Anyway, gear come into the system, Brown, in the early 90s, and I've got to be honest. I've got to talk about this because it is part of what happened in this story. And I was noticing, like, Colin wasn't really getting many visits, but he was the man on the wing. He was like the chap. So if you wanted anything, you'd go to Colin. So I was surprised. I was shocked at how he was getting it in, and I actually thought that he had a screw on the take, and the screw was bringing it in. Well, what happened was I got doubled up with Colin in the end, because, as I said, we're good friends, and to my surprise, the screws bought Colin his gear to his door and handed it to him. This was the first time I ever found out what was going on, what was the coup, how they was getting gear into jails. So basically, it was through a solicitor's letter, and it's called a R37A. So the screws were not allowed to open it because it's from a solicitor, and it's recorded delivery. So it's funny as fuck because, yeah, they was coming to his door and, you know, opening the top of the letter, but the gear was glued onto the back of the letter. So they was just handing Colin the letter, and because Colin, we knew how to open it, we just didn't show that part of the letter, and that's how we had our gear from the screws. So a big shout out to Wandsworth Screws for keeping us going for about 18 months. Anyway, to cut a long story short, it did come on top. Like all things, all good things come to an end. I don't know whether he got grassed up or whether the screws sussed it, the dogs got it, or it went through the scanning machine. But on this occasion, they handed Colin the letter. Colin took the letter, opened it up as he normally did, and the screws asked him to open the full letter up. And he didn't have no choice but to open it up, basically. He opened the letter up and the gear fell out of the bottom of the letter. And that was it. Colin got took down the seg. And Colin got put on closed visits. So that was the end of Colin's reign in Wandsworth at that time. So what happened next was I was just above Colin in the seg, in the block. And this is really funny because Colin was on closed visits. I wasn't on closed visits. So we had a chat through the pipe and Colin asked me to take one of his visits. So I couldn't, you know, I was very grateful for that because I knew what was coming on the visit. A parcel and an elephant and castle. So oh no, I shouldn't say things like that, but yeah, an elephant and castle. So listen to this one. I took the visit. Another bloke come up on a visit, shook my hand, done the old doobry. I bottled the gear, made sure I had it. Got back to the segregation unit, got back into my cell, unplugged the gear, and there was half ounce of the naughty stuff. So we had a quarter each, me and Colin. But this is what happened next. So, as I said, Colin was below me, and I was shouting at the window for Colin. So, as I was shouting, I got no response at all. And I thought, oh, well, he might have been on a solicitor's visit, or he could be on you know, he could be going down to see the PO, or he could be, I don't know, numerous places the screws would take you, or chaperone you, because you're down the seg. Well, to my surprise, Colin had got shipped out of Hmp Wandsworth just an hour before I went on to my visit. So that meant now I'm stuck down the segregation unit with half ounce of gear and it's all mine. And I just think that's a blinding story. It's a nice touch. Yeah, I did see Colin a long time after that. We met up again in Wayland, and we both had a laugh and we fallen on the floor laughing about it. Because Colin knew, you know, them days that's what happened. If you got caught like that, you got caught out like that, it was your own fault. And yeah, he took it on the chin. So guys, I thought I'd just drop this video here and let you know that I did have a nice little touch out of Wandsworth Prison. Peace.